Hi, my name is Sebastian van der Schlier. I'm a former social anxiety disorder sufferer and a social confidence coach. And in the past almost 10 years, I've been helping socially anxious clients to go from social anxiety, they've often had for decades, to feeling calm, relaxed, and at ease in social situations. Now, I've logged close to 5,000 coaching hours, and throughout my coaching, I combine Western traditional psychology with Eastern energy psychology. And Eastern energy psychology, you can kind of imagine that to be like an umbrella, and then the spokes in the umbrella have different kinds of techniques. So one of the techniques that I talk about a lot in my videos, in my podcasts, is a EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, or tapping, which is a psychological form of acupuncture. But instead of using needles, you tap with the tips of your fingers on specific acupressure points on the body. Now, when you do that and you're focused in on a particular problem, the negative emotions connected to that problem start to dissolve, release, and neutralize. It's amazing. Now, when you hear this for the first time, you probably think it's a scam. That's why I do this video, because in this video, in just a moment, you'll see some highlights of the interview that I did with a PhD researcher and biologist, Bruce Lipton. And he will talk about one of the other spokes in the umbrella called Psy-K. It's one of the other techniques. I'm a practitioner of that technique as well. It's amazing. It's a way to install positive belief directly into your subconscious mind. You know, if you ever heard of affirmations, I love myself, I love myself, I llove myself. Say it over and over, say it in the mirror, say it with conviction, say it like you mean it. You know, the things that don't work so well. This is like that, but then on steroids, and this actually does work. So, you know, energy psychology is amazing, amazing. I'm not saying we don't want Western traditional psychology, because that's changing your thoughts is important. You know, changing your behavior is important, of course, but there's a key element missing, and that's dealing with the energetic and the emotional side of things. When you want to overcome your social anxiety, which is an emotional problem, that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. All right, so on to my interview with Bruce Lipton. Bruce Lipton is a PhD, and he's a former medical school professor and research scientist. His studies revealed that the environment operating through the cell membrane controlled the behavior and physiology of the cell, turning genes on and off. These discoveries, which ran counter to the established scientific view that life is controlled by the genes, presaged one of today's most important fields of study, the science of epigenetics. We are not victims of our genes. Bruce's research helped us to understand that we're in control of our life, and that we can take control, we are in control of our life by taking control of our inner wiring. Bruce is the best-selling author of The Biology of Belief. He's been a guest speaker on hundreds of TV and radio shows, and he's kind of a superstar in this whole field. So I'm very honored to have him on the show. The programs that you're talking about, like someone who now has social anxiety, and they're like, well, I don't want to have social anxiety. I want to have social ease. I want to enjoy myself. I want to be comfortable. But it's the programs that they're having that come from the repetitive negative experiences, the things that they've observed in their early childhood, that then formed the beliefs and the programs as a result of these beliefs that they're now having. And
Yes.
They want to get over it, but just I just have to force myself to face my fears, and then maybe I'll learn that I'm actually okay when I do that. But you're swimming upstream, and since yes, you can consciously take control to a degree, but only 5% of the time, and the other, once you turn your back or once you're not paying attention, then the programs are running the show again, right? And the question is, or kind of where we ended was, well, how is it then that we're attacking these programs, or rather, how do we shift and change these programs that we're currently dealing with that are causing the problem of anxiety? And I know that you're an advocate of energy psychology, and I'm wondering what your personal experience with that was and how you got into that.
was giving a lecture in Colorado in the Rocky Mountains. And I gave the lecture and concluded just as I just said, it's the subconscious that's in the way, and it's not your genes, and thank you very much. And then the first question is, how do you change it? And I go, I don't know how to change it.
Mhm.
And the fun part was, as soon as I upset as usual, because I thought the lecture was really great, but the moment I finished the lecture, they didn't care about what I just said. They just wanted to go, now how do I change it? And I was feeling like, God, I thought the science was really great, but it doesn't save anybody. And I was put my computer in my bag, and I was going back to the back of the room, and the next speaker was coming up. His name was Rob Williams. And I could hear as I was walking back to my seat, he says, I'm going to show you how to change those beliefs Bruce talked about. And I go, okay, sure. And then it was kind of funny because he asked the audience, big audience, he said, how many people would like to change a belief? And almost everybody, the hand goes up, you know. uh, and it was funny because I saw the same person that he saw, and it was a woman who, like, she wasn't sure. She put her hand up and like that, and we both saw her. So the fun part was I saw her, and then he sees her, and he says, okay, you tell us your name and what your problem is. And everybody looked at her, and she just turned beet red. She just turned red. Not a word. She couldn't say her name. She couldn't talk. And so he left from the front of the room, got in the middle of the audience, and got next to her and had a private conversation. Her name is Pauline. We find that out. And guess what her problem is? She can't speak in public. Well, it was pretty darn obvious. She couldn't even say her name, okay? She was so, like, psychologically like that. So I'm thinking, well, this guy, Rob Williams, is a pretty brave guy or crazy. How do you know you're going to fix somebody? You're going to fix somebody? You're going to tell us, and then you're going to fix somebody? I thought that's pretty confident. So they go up on the stage, and he shows her the process, which is called Psych-K, Psych-K. And it's 10 minutes. And she's giving a lecture. She's walking up and down the stage, talking about her history, talking about her family, talking about everything. The joke, Rob said, Pauline, please sit down. You're using my lecture time. And that was the first time I saw energy psychology. And what happened? Less than 10 minutes, this whole fear of talking was changed so much that he had to ask her to stop talking after 10 minutes. So I was like, whoa. And that's my first introduction to called energy psychology. And it's a super learning technique, and it's an ability to rewrite programs. I need people to understand out there is no gene connected with this social anxiety problem. There's not one gene been found, okay? And as I said, genes cause less than 1% of pathologies in the first place. So stop looking at the genes. And why is this relevant? Because when you know who you are, when you know how the conscious and subconscious work, you become empowered to create the life you want. For many people, there's a period in your life where you stop playing the program, and your life radically changed when you were not playing that program.
All right. Now, Bruce was talking about Psych-K, which is one of the spokes in the umbrella. By the way, he gave an example there of someone coming to the stage and resolving their long-standing issue. That doesn't always happen in 5 or 10 minutes, but that was his first experience with it. Okay. Anyway, Psych-K is one of the spokes in the umbrella being energy psychology. Psych-K is amazing, as are many of the other techniques: logosynthesis, intention-based energy process, TAT, and tapping. What I like about tapping is that it's such a self-help tool. If you want to do Psych-K, you're going to go see a practitioner. By the way, seeing a practitioner is the best investment of your money ever, because doing something on your own, you'll have blind spots, certain things you can't see. You think you're aware of your issue, but your subconscious hides certain issues from you, beyond the topic of this conversation. it's a world of difference when you see a practitioner versus when you work by yourself. Anyway, but tapping is one of the other spokes in the umbrella of energy psychology that is actually very easy to self-apply. And even if you don't work with a practitioner, you can already make some really good changes and reduce your social anxiety using just that technique. So I teach how to do that technique for free. For how much? For free on my website, because I share with you a social confidence starter kit. It's 10 short videos, 5 or 10 minutes each, and I teach the technique to you, and I teach how to apply it to parts of overcoming your social anxiety. And I also guide you through an experience of the technique so that you actually feel it working, so that you think of an upcoming social situation, you feel the anxiety, and I guide you through some tapping, and you feel less anxious. It's amazing. So you're going to love that. And I also have my ebook in there, How to Overcome Social Anxiety Completely, where I tell my own story, how I overcame my social anxiety. And I share with you how to step by step overcome your social anxiety completely, and why it is that you can go from social anxiety to feeling totally calm, relaxed, and at ease. No anxiety whatsoever in social situations, right? Because that's possible. That's your normal state of being. All right, so if you're interested in that, you can get that free social confidence starter kit on my website, which is socialanxietysolutions.com, or click the link below this video. Hope it's been helpful. Please share this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.